I like to stay spooky and weird all year round, so I don't just do it in October. So today we're gonna do the spooky skeletons tag. I was tagged by Secrets Reads. I will link their channel down below if you want to check them out. Let's get into it right now. The first question or subject is Witchy Mayhem. Name a book you loved or hated about witches. There's a book that I loved that was about a witch. Not necessarily about witches, but it is about a witch, so I say that counts. And it was Hex by Thomas Hudevelt. And it was super creepy. It's this witch that has been attached to this town for years and years, and her mouth is sewn shut and her eyes are sewn shut, and she just kind of wanders around the town, and she'll just appear in people's houses, like just standing in the corner, or sometimes she'll lurk over the children. It's super creepy. And people can't leave this town because they've been cursed by this witch. If they do, like, they become suicidal and try to kill themselves. So people have to stay in this town and they can never leave. And so what's going to take for this curse to be broken, huh? Or is it all just going to go to hell in a handbasket and end very catastrophically? I don't know. If you've read it, you know, and it's a crazy book and I really liked it. So the next prompt is The Pumpkin King, a fiction book about a spooky main character. Spooky main character. Okay, so the book Leech by Hiram Ennis, the main character is kind of spooky and weird. They are this like entity that has taken over this person's body. The body is kind of aware of it, or the person's mind that is in there is sort of aware of it, and they're kind of in each other's heads, but the entity takes over and controls everything, and it's kind of spooky and weird, and that was a really creepy and strange book. If you guys can think of any books that you like with a really spooky main character, let me know down in the comments, because I'm having a hard time thinking of one outside of that right now. Because I feel like most of the time the people are pretty like normal and they didn't want to have these crazy experiences, and then it just happens. I don't know. The next one is Orange Fever, a book with the word orange in the title, or a book with an orange cover. So I didn't have too many books that had an orange cover, but the Warlock Holmes book, The Hellhound of Baskervilles, is orange. The next is Ghouls and Ghosts, a book that you loved about ghosts or ghouls. One of my favorite ghosty type books is Ghost Eaters by Clay McLeod Chapman. There's this drug that you can take and you don't get high, you get haunted. And when you take it, you start seeing dead people and ghosts. And it's such a crazy, awesome concept of a book. And I freaking loved it. That was in my top 10 last year. It's so freaking good and so unique. And it still sticks in my brain. Or the next one is Horrible Horrors, your least favorite horror, thriller, or mystery book. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse every time I bring this book up, and I always feel bad, but I'm going to name it. Curator by Owen King. Did not like that book. If you've been around the channel, you know. I gotta stop talking about this. Please tag videos, stop asking me to name books I hated. Alright, next one. Gothic Wonders, a favorite Gothic-themed book that you've read in the past 5 years. Oh, there's been quite a few. I'm gonna name a couple for this. I really loved The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. That was kind of like a haunted house story. Haunted house love story. And then also Little Eve by Catriona Ward. It's gothic. It's so effed up. The family is so effed up. It's so creepy and so weird. And I love her. She's one of my faves. Next up we have Magic and Potions, a fiction or nonfiction book about magic and potions. The first thing that pops into my brain right now, because I had just read 3 books in the series, is the Warlock Holmes series, because Warlock Holmes is a magician. Sometimes he makes potions and he drinks them to his detriment, because it seems like the potions he's made for himself have not been so good. They might just be poison. I don't know. But there's a lot of like weird, strange stuff, and there's magic in it because he uses magic quite a bit, and it's just fun. Another book that pops into my brain too is The House Witch by Delamac. That book is witchy and magical and just a fun, cozy fantasy book. All right, the next is Black Cats, a book about cats, or a book with a cat as a side character or the main character. There is a book called The Cat Who Saved Books, at least I think that's the name of the title, by Sasuke Nasukawa. And it's about this high school student, and he inherits this bookstore from his grandfather when he passes away. And then this talking cat appears, and the cat needs his help saving books. The cat must liberate these books that have been taken by these strange people in these, I don't even know where they go. They go through like a portal through the back of the bookstore, and they have to save these books from these people in these really strange and odd situations. And it was a really great book. It's super weird. It's fantasy and it's heartfelt, and just, it was a really great book. I love reading books that have cats in them. I mean, there's a few I've read that were really good too. There's another one, it's like She and Her Cat. That was good. And The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward has a cat in it. And there's chapters that have the perspective of the cat, which is great. Okay, so the next one is Spooky Scary Skeletons, a book that sent shivers down your spine. I read a lot of horror, so I had to really think about this. And I don't know if it sent shivers down my spine, but it broke my soul. So I'm going to put that in that category. And it was just so disturbing, but it was so good. But it was so sad. It's so sad. And that's The Devil Takes You Home by Gavino Iglesias. Holy crap, that book will rip your soul in half because it is heartbreaking and it's just scary and it's messed up and just the things that will make a good man go bad. That sent shivers down my spine. If you are a fan of tag videos, the next video coming up will be another tag video. So stick around, check it out. And if you had fun hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.